Hi Carl, thanks so much for reaching out via our school support offer, and as promised I've recorded you a really short video to try and address some of the areas that you're looking to improve within your school's marking and feedback. So you mentioned the idea of creating dialogue within students' work and also the ability to kind of group students to help speed up the marking process. Well, what I hope to do in the next minute or so is just show you how that can be achieved really quickly and easily in MarkMate. So I'm going to share my screen and hopefully explain it as we go. So what I've done is I've set up a piece of work in MarkMate on my computer, but it can be done via a phone or any device wherever you want to do this. On the left are all the students in my group, and then on the right is a piece of work that I've set up specifically to show you. It's a very generic writing assessment, but it could be anything at all that you're marking. I've got an area for feedback for just general comments for that student on their progression, how well they've done in the lesson. And then I've also set up a specific response task, with the idea being that perhaps at the beginning of each lesson you could have a 5-minute response time where all students receive their feedback, stick it into their books themselves, and then using a different coloured pen respond to that task within their books to show that dialogue taking place. Now, when you're marking work with MarkMate, you can mark students individually, so I could go through and give individual feedback for each student in their general feedback section. So for example, well done today, this is a fantastic piece of writing and I'm really impressed by the quality of vocabulary that you've used in your work. And then that feedback's been put into that general feedback section. But then what I could do is, as I'm marking through each student and giving their general feedback, etc., going through, I could group their books based on misconceptions. So if I've got a group of students that all struggled with using original ideas, I could then select them all as a group and then come into the response task and give them all the same response task. For example, I'd like you to try and use a thesaurus to improve 3 of the words in your sentences. So quite a specific response task that they're going to then action in that lesson using a different coloured pen. I'm going to give a grade, let's say MET, so you can assess for formative assessment as well. Save that feedback and confirm that you want to save it for all of those students. Now if I go to Abigail and print her label, we'll now see that we've got the individual comment that I've given her, just specifically to her. Then I've got that grouped response task, but she's getting her own label, she's seeing it as her own feedback, and then she can respond to that within the next lesson in a different coloured pen and actually action what I've shown her. That way you can show that dialogue and that progression. But as you can see, I've marked 7 students or 5 students there, I can't see exactly how many it is, and I've given them constructive comments within their response task. So this is just one way that you can use MarkMate to actually group students to speed up the process, but also encourage dialogue within students' work. All of those labels can be printed in bulk, so you can just print everything out at the end, so you can mark all your students and then just before the next lesson, hand out the labels, hand out the piece of work and get the students to stick it in. If you'd like to discuss this further as part of the school support offer that we're offering, we can arrange a Zoom call and go into more specifics about your school and your subject in particular, and also talk about ways that you can actually have a go with MarkMate and try it within your setting. If you've got any more questions or you'd like to arrange that, please do let me know.